Hey there, Samuel Larsen here from crogurus.com. In this video, I'm going to cover the 6 essential steps that we take with every single A/B test. So this makes sure that we don't just randomly start testing and randomly get random results. Instead, there's a process behind it that every single good agency uses. And this is, my view, this is the difference between somebody who has done A/B testing a while versus somebody who is doing it as a side hobby or something like that. So let's jump into it. First of all, you need to have your analysis done. And this is the process that every single agency takes when they take on a new conversion rate optimization client. So they will look at the site first and analyze the data. So that's the analytics part. They will analyze the usability and the user behavior. That's the user research part. They will analyze it technically. So does the site work? That's the technical part. And then they will do a conversion rate optimization analysis. So these are like things like persuasiveness and seeing if there's any friction and these kind of things. From that analysis, you get a list of hypotheses. And this is sort of a fancy word to say assumptions. But these assumptions are the step number 2. And from this, you form statements. So, for example, by changing Y on the website, we expect X because of Z. So, for example, by changing the value proposition to be more user-centric, we expect users to understand the brand better and bounce less. That would be an example of this. And then ideally with also tied to revenue and these actual metrics and not just bounces. So from here, we have our analysis done. We have our hypothesis done. And from here, we have a bunch of ideas. What we need to do next is prioritize those ideas. And this is where we start with a model like PI. So PI is an acronym for potential, improvement, and ease. And these are then ranked or scored for every single one of these 3 ranking factors. So potential is it a key page? Is it above the fold? Is it something that would be even seen by the users? So that's the ranking there, and you'd assign it a score from 1 to 10. Improvement. What is the expected conversion lift from this change? And you'd assign a score there. Ease. How easy is it to implement? And you'd assign a score there. So there you'd have all these 3. You'd add them together, and you'd get a score, say, 27. So 27 would be a really good score because it's between 0 and 30. And from there, you just rank it in Google Sheets or Excel and rank it from highest to lowest, and you start from the top. Now, you don't start with whatever the CEO wants to test or whatever you think is the best thing to test. You rank it according to this framework, and then you start testing from there. Number 4, the 4th step here, form a testing plan. So this is your documentation of the tests that you plan to run. You have your hypothesis there, you have your prioritization there, you have your start dates, your end dates, your needed data there. So everything's in this one document. And from there, you have it very clear of what are the expected outcomes, what are the timelines, and what are the findings that we expect. And from this one document, it is for you to go back later on, because a test often takes a month. You might forget what we're doing, why we're doing it, and then if people change, etc., it's there for those people as well later on. So very important to form a testing plan before you start executing. And that's the next step. execution, step number 5. So you want to make sure that the tests that you are coding now, that they are bug-free and that they work. So there's no flickering when you load the page and everything's smooth. Because this is a phase where you can basically screw up every single thing that you have done so far. So you want to make sure that everything's thoroughly tested before you launch it. Now, when you launch it, you want to make sure that it's calculated, so you know what is the expected impact here and how long would that expected impact take. So you can use tools like Visual Website Optimizer's A/B testing calculator to calculate the length of your A/B test, or just have your favorite consultant calculate it so that you don't actually have to do it yourself. Then last step, and some would say the most important step of all, but that is learning. So now you have run your test, you have got your result, and what do you do with that? Most people just go like, it didn't win or didn't win. Like, it won or it didn't. But there's a huge amount of learning that you can take from testing and analyzing what went wrong and why, or what went right and why. You should also analyze these victories. Then you are starting to build this more complete picture of your users and what works for them, what doesn't work for them. And from that, you can utilize these findings throughout the site. So let's say your users like this more emotional warmth in your pages, in a single page. Now that would be a great example of a build, measure, learn loop, where you are then utilizing that learning to help you in the future tests as well. So that's it. That is the 6 steps to perfect A/B testing. It's pretty simple in the end of the day, but there's a lot of fine elements that you need to get right in order to actually have any benefit from A/B testing. Hope you liked it. Make sure to subscribe for that. And if you'd like me to help you with your A/B testing, you can go to crogurus.com/apply. And let's see if we would be a good fit working together.